honest with you guys, I actually played that much of Dynasty Warriors since I found out that Samurai Warriors exist. And, you know, it's clear to me that Samurai Warriors 2 is the superior franchise, because it actually does have some character development, there's some episodicness to it, and it just has all-around better gameplay and ideas for gameplay. Whereas Dynasty Warriors kind of just meanders into this little bit of mediocrity that I kind of understand people are frustrated by. But then I saw Dynasty Warriors Xtreme Legend 8, and, you know, I got myself a PS4, so might as well, you know, try it out, see how it feels. And, oh boy.
Don't get me wrong, Dynasty Warriors 8 Xtreme Legends is a good game, but with all the flashy colors and gameplay sound effects and all that good stuff, you'd think they'd get more inventive of how you play the game, rather than what you're playing. And this is where I kind of see where people are a little turned off by the Warriors franchise, or at least the Dynasty Warriors franchise, because they don't really add anything new with each installment. It's just kind of the same thing. You know, don't fix what isn't broken type of thing. And it's not bad gameplay, it's just you really haven't found anything more inventive to do with it. I mean, that's what Samurai Warriors 4 is doing. I mean, it looks like it's adopting the Dynasty Warriors playstyle of campaign-based missions, but it's really upgrading some things in certain areas. Whereas Dynasty Warriors 8 kind of seems to be the same and a lot less catered to fans.
I guess we should just start off with the positives, because there is a lot of good stuff with this game, and I just don't want to start off this thing with a whole bunch of bad things about this game, because it is good functionally.
So let's start with the combat, which is vastly improved since when I played. The combat is a lot easier to handle, and it flows a lot better than when it used to. However, the one drawback to that is that the camera doesn't seem to want to keep up with you, and there's a lot of shit AI that corner you. You now get a secondary weapon which you can switch to on the fly, and it will do a secondary attack that'll break through very special attacks done by the enemy. So yeah, no more getting pounded by special attacks that you didn't see coming. And I also like how you can use any weapon on any character, no matter who it belongs to. It's a really nice touch to the intrigue, and it really adds a lot of experimentation. And of course, there's a Lu Bu story campaign, and if you felt like you needed more Lu Bu, well then here's your chance to get some more of it. Just look at this motherfucker, okay? He knows who he is, he knows what the deal is. You think he gives a fuck? He don't give any fucks. He kills his dad for another dad. He don't give a shit.
So, when this game is about fighting dudes, it works. It's fun and it's inventive. However, when it's not about fighting dudes,
First of all, and this is a big problem that the entire game has, you are given access to equip any character with any weapon in the game. No matter who the weapon is unique to, that character can use it. For secondary weapons, this is okay, but for primary weapons, you can do that with primary weapons? Then what's the fucking point of this character? If I can just completely change the fighting style of the character into something else, then what's the point of the character? What's the point of this roster? Doing stuff like this devalues the fact that you have 82 characters to play as, each with their own unique fighting style. And yeah, I know why they did it. It's because throughout the story campaign, you get to select one of 3 different characters to play as on that specific mission. And they just threw that in there so you don't have to feel like you have to learn a completely different style. You can just go back to the style that you want, just with a different character. But if that's the case, why is there 82 characters? The only thing that stays the same is their super. Other than that, it's basically the same. But in that case, wouldn't you want them to play as a different character? I mean, I would much prefer you stick to your guns and make us play as different characters. Because it can get boring playing as the same guy for 5+ missions. So it'd be nice to just switch to a different character and see how they play out. But instead, you're giving us the option to just completely alter a character's playstyle. Also, each character requires you to add stats, as opposed to just having a simple upgrade system already in place. You have to choose the perks that you want and then add them to your character's perk. And you can level those up if you want, but I would much prefer it all just be in there like it was in Samurai Warriors. I mean, why would I not want these perks in place? Wouldn't I want my character to be in the best condition so it can be a badass on the battlefield? And the leveling system in this game is very weird. I mean, it's very inconsistent and not really clear on how it works. I mean, to give you an example, the game starts you off at level 8, and then the next mission you're at level 16. And then you're at a completely different level in the next chapter, and it really doesn't make sense. If the levels are fixed to match the difficulty of the mission, then why have levels at all? It seems a little bit pointless. There's a whole bunch of pointless stuff in this game, and I don't get why they put it in here.
I have no use for a man with so little ambition.
I mean, the reason why I like many of these characters is because they have eccentric personalities, and their weapons are a reflection of their eccentric personalities. I'm not saying you don't have to make a game where each character can equip any weapon no matter who uses it. I'm just saying, don't give it to us straight up. Make it a reward for completing all of the campaigns. Or hell, just change the campaign setting. Instead of giving us a secondary weapon, why don't we just switch between characters? You know, the 3 characters that you make us play as. They're just simple adjustments to make this not so dumb. Because it screams that you really don't have faith in that you can sell this game on its combat and its characters alone. There also seems to be a problem with enemy balancement. The cavalrymen have one ability, and that's to hit you with the horse. This stun locks you, and these cavalrymen come in drones. There's a lot of these guys in every mission. And if they corner you, they can stun lock you like forever. And the ballistas act the same way. They do a crazy amount of damage, they stun lock you, they push you back, into other enemies most likely, and they don't telegraph when they're about to attack. Also, unit commanders are on the same par as some of the named officers. So, in certain missions where all of your characters are hindered by their level, you have to babysit them and kill all the unit commanders yourself so they don't die. You need a lot of your allied officers to survive so that your army doesn't get demoralized and become weaker. So it's really unfair that sometimes, just out of nowhere, unit commanders are now fully officered characters. And sometimes, many of the objectives in these missions are very unclear on how you go by doing it. I mean, they tell you what the mission is, but they don't tell you how to go by completing it. They just said, hey, fight this guy, and there's no possible way to get to the guy. You fail the objective, and now you're strategically at a disadvantage.
And this might be a personal problem that I might have, but it's a problem I've been having with the Warriors franchise for a long time. I really don't like the very simplistic design of all the Dynasty Warriors characters.
The designs are just so, I'm not going to say boring, but it really strips away a lot of what it says about the character's personality. I mean, look at Samurai Warriors. In many of the campaigns, a lot of allies were working together, people from many different factions, so they have many varying colors on their armor. In Dynasty Warriors, everyone has the same hue of blue or green or yellow, you know, in every single campaign. And it really doesn't make the character look very special. It doesn't make them stand out, and they all just kind of blend in into the same person.
This bores me.
So in short, is Dynasty Warriors 8 Xtreme Legends a good game? And to the answer to that is, yes, it is a good game. The combat is good, and all that stuff I've been bitching about is completely optional. You can skip it. You don't have to participate in upgrading your character, or looking at character stats, or even choosing a weapon. You can just go in with what's at default and still have a pretty good time. However, when it comes time to micromanage, it is kind of appalling that all these characters that you're playing as are just fucking unimportant. I give this game a score of 7 out of 10. I really recommend that you try this game out. However, I'm not really expecting you to like it. Hell, I don't really like this game that much, and I'm about to play some more of it after I do this review.
So, Dynasty Warriors 8 isn't that great. But hey, I still got 3 more Warriors games that came out this year to play and see how they hold up. Hopefully they're all good. In the meantime, why don't you make sure you click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Tumblr so you can keep updated on what projects I'm doing, and check out my other videos that I have on this channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.